Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Village in Progress VIP Tip. I am so excited to be able to bring you these tips and share this information that has helped me really get further faster in my real estate career and are things that I have continued to apply as I've been growing and evolving. As I look back on the last season with my friends, a lot of what we spoke about in our conversations had to do with manifesting and future talks and really calling into our lives things that we were really wanting to build upon or just bring in new. And so I thought what I would do is break down that manifesting journey into 3 parts: vision boards, manifesting, and then future vision talks. Vision boards are really where you're getting clear and attaching that clarity to some visual anchors. And then manifesting is about aligning that belief and that visualization and that energy and mindset and fueling that into action. And the future vision is really about taking all the work you did to get clear and to align yourself and then speak that truth out loud and share it as if it already happened. So today we're going to be starting with vision boards. So this VIP tip is how to build a vision board that actually moves you forward. We are moving towards something that you can actually see, and the vision board is that visual anchor. Many of us sort of move through our day and our month and our year just sort of flailing. We think that we have goals in mind. We think that we know what we want, but we're not attached to that. We're not aligned with that. We're not reminding ourselves of that as we go throughout our day and our months and our years. And we all have lots of hopes and dreams and goals and things we want to change, but we're not doing anything to connect that with actual action. And we're not giving any of those hopes and dreams a place to land. I mean, I used to do vision boarding and journaling and future vision talks every year. And I think Josh and I in our episode, in the first episode, spoke to that about how we would drive around and talk to each other about this. And I used to make vision boards every year. And then when my daughter was born and sort of my role became full-time mothering, I lost sight of that. I didn't make a vision board, and I should have. I should have made a board for myself as a young mother. And I wonder if that would have made the journey back to myself after giving her 3 years and putting her in school. I wonder if that would have made the journey back to finding myself a little bit easier, because I did have to spend a lot of time really thinking about then, like, who I wanted to be and what I wanted to build and contribute. And so I do know firsthand that if you are not intentional with your goals, they just are not going to happen for you in the same way that you would like them to. And so the vision board is really the first step into putting those dreams and goals out there and then creating action to support that. I want to say that vision boards and manifesting are not magic. They're not magical tools. And vision boarding in particular is not just like magazine cutouts and fun pictures of like things you hope to have in the future. It is really a visual reminder of what matters most to you and what you're working towards and what version of your life you're working to create in a specific season of your life. They're really meant for like 1 year out. And I would say that, you know, they can change and they can evolve. And we're going to talk about how to use them and check in with them. But it's really something that should be done every year. So at the start of your year, maybe instead of New Year's resolutions, you make your New Year's vision board. So maybe this will be something new that you add in. I myself have not made one yet for 2026, and I realize it is July. So I'm making one now, and this is going to take me through the next year and into the next summer. In this VIP tip episode, we are going to be breaking down vision boards, understanding how to build them with intention, what to put on them, how to prioritize, and how to use it throughout the year so that these become more than just a craft project that you're doing. So, what is a vision board? A vision board is a collection of images, words, phrases, symbols, reminders of what your goals are. They represent your goals, they represent what you're working towards. And again, they're for really a specific season in your life. So, things that the vision boards often include are things like goals for your personal life, goals for your family, your friends, your community, your career or creative goals. Oftentimes, there are also health and wellness and financial goals, travel. They can also be intentions you're putting out for your environment in your home or your workplace. They can also include things like spirituality or your personal growth. So it's pretty broad. And the key is that it should not be a board of just random things that look pretty or feel like something you might want. They're really a reflection of the life that you want to be building. So the goal is not to create a board that looks impressive, but a board that is authentic and honest to you. The first step in building your vision board is to get clear. So you want to first get clear and get honest about what your priorities really are. You want to work through how to prioritize what you did really well last year or what's going really well for you, and then where you want improvement in your life. So I'm going to share with you a tool that I use, and you can download this online. I can try to link it. This is something I have from coaching, and I periodically throughout the year, probably like twice a year, I will use this. So this is the Wheel of Life coaching tool. And I don't know if some of you may have seen this. If you've worked with me in coaching in the past, you've definitely seen this. And this is something that really helps me get clear on what areas of my life I'm really looking to expand on. Because the truth is, we can't do everything all at once. So it helps to get clear about what it is you want to do, and then we can go and prioritize it. So this Wheel of Life, you can also make this at home, is obviously a wheel. And it's divided into physical environment, career, money, health and well-being, family, friends, personal development and growth, significant other, romance, and fun and recreation. So each one of these has a number from 1 through 10. So basically, you spend some time going through this and bringing these out to whatever number most represents these areas in your life. So I filled this out. I date it because I keep these so that I can look back and sort of track at any given time what was going on in my life. So for me, as I was filling out this wheel, my physical environment is like a 10 out of 10. I absolutely love our house. I love where we live. I think our family is really thriving here, and I really like that. So for me, my physical environment's pretty good. My career, obviously, I'm building a new podcast. I'm putting myself out there in new ways. I'm always looking for ways to sort of expand on that. So for my career, I put a 6, and I wrote that I'm growing. Money, obviously, always working towards growing that. Health and well-being, I would say that over the last few years, I have really gotten very comfortable with a movement routine for myself. I like to call it movement instead of working out. So my movement routine is something that my body now actually really craves, and I look to as a way to feel better. So I have a solid foundation of a movement routine that I do multiple times a week, and I'm really now looking to level that up. So I wrote level up. And right now the health and well-being is at an 8. I take a number of supplements, I work out, I'm getting sleep. So really I'm looking to level up and like PR in some of my rides, and also level up in the weights that I'm using. My family, I'm so blessed. I have an amazing family. We're seeing each other now more than ever. So that for me is pretty full. That cup is pretty full. Friends, I would say I put it at about a 7. I have a tremendous group of friends, many of them who supported me and were on the podcast in season 1. And many who support me from behind the scenes. But I am looking to attract new friends, to make new friends. So I put that at a 7 because that is something that I'm working on growing. I really would like to work on growing myself now that we're settled in where we moved, really working on involving myself more in the community and hopefully making a few new friends. Personal growth and development, that is always growing for me. I will say that that will never be at a full 10 out of 10 because I am always trying to figure out ways to maximize and to learn and to grow. And so I feel like that's an ongoing, probably for the rest of my life, hopefully. Significant other romance. I put that at a 9 because obviously I love my husband. He's very supportive. So I feel very grateful in that area of my life. But we are wanting to do more date nights and things like that. Not really date nights. We just built a beautiful backyard. And so even going out there after our daughter's asleep and just having some quality time to talk. We're working on building that in now that our backyard's done and that we're here and we're really settled. That is something that we're building into our routine. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. And then fun and recreation. Oh, that for me was like at a 5.5. We were moving, we were getting our daughter settled, and we have done trips. But we are now at a place where we feel like settled. And now I'm really looking to add more fun, recreation, little day trips, little things that we can do. So that is going to be something that I'm really going to focus on in this next year and calling that in. So at the bottom, it just says, how smooth or bumpy is your life? If you were on a wheel, like, would you be going in a circle or would you be veering off in some ways? Are there areas of your life that need attention? So for me, like the fun needs attention. That needs the most attention, I would say. And then what areas of your life are you willing to address now versus later? So fun, personal growth, career, money, friends, all of these things I'm working towards. And I wrote to myself down here, trust the process, because I've put things in place for all of these. And so now I just have to work the plan. So you can download the Wheel of Life, the coaching Wheel of Life. You can make your own. But it really helps me visualize and identify, okay, what areas should I be like giving a little bit more attention? You can also ask yourself things like, what do I want to be? What do I want to spend more intentional time doing? What friendships do I want to nurture? If friendship is something that you're looking to grow. We often think about vision boards, I think, in terms of like trips and big things, but it can also be how you want to show up for other people. Whatever it is that's going on in your life, I think you can sort of identify that area and then ask yourself some questions to get some clarity on that. What areas of my life need most attention? Like I said down here, how do I see myself who am I evolving into? And that can help give you a little bit of direction. The other thing, I like to keep this for 1 year, but the other thing you can do is pick like one long-term goal. So my vision board has one long-term goal on it that I'm working towards, and that will be on my vision board until it happens. The other thing you can ask yourself is, what do I keep saying I want that I'm not making time for? And so as you go and ask yourself, and as you sort of identify these areas, it will become clear where you are really doing well and where you could spend a little bit more time. So once you have gotten clear about what areas of your life might need a boost, then you can prioritize what goes on your board. So to prioritize what goes on your board, you want to pick like the top, I would say like 3. I would start with 3. You can do 3 to 5, but you don't want to get overwhelmed. So I would pick like the top 3 categories that rated the lowest on the wheel of life. So for me, I kind of added a little bit because I've done this before, but if I was going to pick my top 3, it would be fun and recreation, career, and health and well-being leveling up. Or sorry, friends. It would be friends. So it would be fun, career, and friends if I was just going to pick 3. I added in 5 because I've done this before. So when I prioritized my vision board, I did fun, career, health and well-being, friends, and significant other. If you're just starting out, I would just pick the top 3 and I would work towards that. So choose 3 and then ask yourself of those, like what needs the most attention right now? What will take longer to grow and develop? And what could I move towards more quickly? So in those areas, you're going to have something that is like a long-term goal, and you're going to have something that you could maybe work towards in the next 6 months. And then I think you have to ask yourself, is this going to matter to me in 3 to 6 months? Is this still going to be a goal that I'm working towards? And these questions, asking yourself all these questions will, again, really help you get clear before you start putting things on your vision board. You just want to be keeping in mind, like, do all these things, if I corrected these areas or I improved these areas, does this help me build a life that feels connected, meaningful? Is it sustainable? And then you want to really ask yourself, am I choosing this because it looks good or it sounds good on the outside? Or am I choosing this because it really feels right to me? Again, these vision boards are not for anybody else. They are for you to keep you on track with your goals. So please make sure that they feel aligned with what you really want to be creating and building and improving upon. So your vision board is not just like a performance or a show. It's really a reflection of the life you're intentionally building. So just make sure that you're being really upfront and honest with yourself about that. So now is the really fun part, I think, how to build the vision board. I like to use a physical board. So I went out and got myself a poster board. I got a big poster board. I cut it in 4s so I could have one for the future. But you want to get a poster board or a cork board or anything that you can hang up. You want to go get magazines, greeting cards. You can print out pictures online. So once you've really gotten clear about what it is you want to put on your vision board, then you get to kind of go hunting for those images or those words or those mantras that really speak to the things that you just got really clear about. So this is where you really get to be creative. You get to tap into like your inner kindergartner and just start finding things that really resonate with you. Building a vision board is something you can obviously do by yourself. It can be a very intimate process, or you could share it with friends. So you could have a vision board night with your girlfriends or with your friends. You can do this in the workplace. I've hosted a few work retreat sort of conferences and breakouts where you build your own vision board and then you share and you kind of turn this into your manifesting and into your future talk. So it can be something you do alone, but it can also definitely be something that you bring your friends in your village and your community along for to do with you. You want this to be, like I said, a good mix of images, of words, of mantras, really reminders of the habits and the goals that you are going to be setting in place. So this is my vision board. Can you see it? Okay. So I'm going to walk you through my vision board and give examples so that you can, see if that applies when you're building yours, see if it's helpful. So the top of my vision board says the reinvention of Alexis. So I found the letters. The reinvention of was from a magazine. And really because I feel like I am turning 43 this year. I feel like since I turned 40, I've really been on a real like self-discovery journey from everything from like head to toe, internal, external, getting clear about what I like, what I don't like. And so I feel like I have sort of reinvented myself in my 40s, in this chapter, in this season of my life. And especially after sending my daughter off to TK and now kindergarten, I really feel like this is a time where I can spend a lot of time really thinking about what I want to build. Then below that, I have the Village in Progress logo and the VIP tip logo. So obviously, this podcast is something that is very near and dear to me, something that I'm working to build. That was really sort of the first step of this reinvention, was building something that was really meaningful to me. And so I am wanting, if for nothing else, to continue building it until it's not meaningful to me. I am going to keep doing this and keep having these conversations because they give a lot back to me. And so that's really something I want to stay focused on building and growing. The other thing that I'm really working on this year in terms of my health and my fitness and leveling up, I have really taken to weight training. I really, really enjoy it. And I would say that I'm about a solid year and a half in. So I'm looking to build strong bones, be able to play with my daughter and her kids if she decides to have kids. Like, I want to be able to run around and play and be active and physical as long as possible. So I'm really working to maximize that. So all of my workouts, everything I'm doing are to build bone density, to make myself more agile, to really strengthen myself from the inside out. So I put here 50-pound weights. So I'm working on a sumo squat. Right now, I can very comfortably do 35 pounds, but I would like to get to where I can do a 50-pound sumo squat and do four rounds of that. I'm also working on my push-up game. I don't know why push-ups are so hard, but I want to be able to lift my entire body up. So I am working on doing 10 solid push-ups in a row, and I'm working on being able to do that twice, like 10, take a little break, and then 10. So this is a reminder when I am working out that those are two of my leveling up goals. The other thing that I really would love to do next year that I'm putting out here on here is, so if anybody knows me, I am a huge Peloton fan. I have had my bike since 2016, maybe something like that. And I absolutely love it. And their instructor, Robin Arzon, I love her. And I actually bought my bike because of her. I saw her on a podcast. Then she started working at Peloton, and then I bought my bike. And so she's been someone whose journey I've followed, like as she's been evolving. And she just recently started doing high rocks competitions. And so one of the things that I would like to challenge myself to do is a high rocks. So there's a high rocks gym here that is something that I'm looking to join possibly at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, to join that gym and do that. So these are like my fitness. We just put in a pool in our backyard. So swimming, getting back into swimming. I was a swimmer from the age of like 6 to, I don't know, in high school. And so swimming and lifting and doing push-ups and challenging myself with some sort of fitness competition is something that I am looking to do to level up in my health and wellness and fitness. I also put on here the date nights. Lee and I have been talking about being a little bit more spontaneous with our dates. We tend to save everything and then we'll go away for a day or two. We'll pick somewhere to go. We'll stay in a hotel. We'll have the grandparents come in, and that's sort of what we do. But we only do that maybe every like 3 months. We sort of save up our date nights and then we go away for like a day or two, which is awesome. But, we do have grandparents really close and family really close by. So, we were saying, well, maybe we could just call the grandparent and see if they could watch her, our daughter for a few hours. We can go to the movies or Even something like, I said we just did our backyard, even something like making time to sit and have like some snacks or I guess a drink if we do. We don't really drink anymore. But just to sit and relax and talk to each other and make that time to do that when she goes to bed, on nights she goes to bed earlier, at our backyard to enjoy the space. We used to love just getting sushi and sitting out on the water. And so bringing us back to some of those things that we did, just a visual reminder that we do have help and we can take advantage of that. So, if you have watched any of the episodes with my sister in law, Roya, we have started a little book club and we're already on our, let's see, first, second, third, we're on our fourth book and I love it. I'm reading like one book every 2 weeks, which is pretty good for me. And I'm really enjoying it. And so, that is something that I am continuing to build and grow that muscle of reading. And I'm finding a little bit of time during the day, and I'm really, really connecting to that. So I want to keep leveling up on my reading. So one of the things that I'm working on for the podcast is really involving myself in local community. So this is like local community, a heart around your local community. And one of the things that I'm working towards building is for next year, for next spring, is having some sort of local farmers market and communal dinner. So, if you've watched the one episode with me and Roya, we talk a lot about their dinner parties. And I really feel like that's a really special way to get to know people, to sit down and share a meal. And so, one of the things that I'm brainstorming in my head and working logistics around is how can we combine our local farmers market with a communal dinner for our town. So that's something that I want to continue to be focused on and grow, because I think that that really aligns with the mission of the Village in Progress podcast and connection and bringing people together. I put here her marvelous rise, superpower, love, good mood. I feel like I'm uh, a very big optimist, and I'm somebody who just feels like we can, if there's something we want to do, we can do it. And so that sort of resonated with me, because I think that thinking and then my bravery, I guess, to take that action are really like my superpowers. And then I put here a picture of Taylor Swift. I am having a real Taylor Swift moment, I guess, in my life for the first time ever. My friend Lindsay is like loves her and has really turned me on to her. And I think about her in terms of a female role model, somebody who is very sure of themselves, who knows their worth. And I think for young women, young girls, is a really positive force. So I hope that she continues to thrive. I feel like carrying her spirit, just like carrying Robin's spirit into things as I move through the world and I create my own space, are two women that really embody sort of authenticity and grit. This says change will do you good. I love change. I feel like evolving and changing is so important for us. So I just put that up there because it's something that really resonates with me. Strength at any age. I feel like at 43 or 42, turning 43, I'm just getting started. I feel like I'm more powerful than I've ever been. I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm more assured of myself than I've ever been, more confident. And so I just feel like I'm just getting started. I definitely don't feel like I've hit a middle or anything. I literally feel like I'm just getting started with my life, and everything else was like a dress rehearsal or like the pregame. And then this says, I don't think anyone is ever truly viewed as one thing. So to me, that really feels like I'm not one thing. I'm not just a mom or just a wife, or I have all of these things that I can give. and that are separate from all of those things. Like I am a whole and complete person as Alexis, aside from being Lee's wife or Lucy's mom. Um, I feel so I just feel like we are all things wrapped into one. We can be a lot of different parts of ourselves, and it's really important to value all those different ways that we view each other, view ourselves, really. Oh, and then this one here says, I try to self examine, even though that's really hard and hurts a lot sometimes. Um, so I feel like I am not perfect. I have a lot of growth to do on myself always. And I'm not afraid to look at myself and say, like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or maybe I shouldn't have done that, or maybe I reacted too quickly to that. And it's not always comfortable to point out where you may have fallen off or where you didn't show up like your best self. But that's just a reminder that it's a process. We're always evolving, and sometimes it's messy. And as long as we can look into ourselves and recognize where maybe we have fallen a little short, or maybe where we have room for improvement, then that's really the best that we can do, and then work towards making those improvements, right? But I feel like it's always a good idea to look within, and to really be honest about how you are showing up in the world, and if that is in alignment with how you want to be showing up in the world. The last thing I have on here is recreation and fun. I think that the date nights and all that will give me a little bit of fun. We're going to be working with my daughter and doing little things and really spending a lot of time in our pool and outside this summer. But one of the things that I am really looking forward to, and that Lee and I are actively planning and thinking about, is when we are going to be able to take our first trip abroad since having our daughter. So we have not traveled out of the country since we had her. And we haven't left her. I think I've left her. I've gone on girls' trips and left her, but we as a team have not left her for more than, I think, like 3 days, 3 or 4 days. And so we have been thinking, like, when she's old enough, and we're still trying to debate when that is, where we're going to go. And I think we landed on like Positano, like the Amalfi Coast, somewhere like that. That's beautiful. So I have a picture down here to remind myself that we are going to get there, and that that needs to be part of our financial planning, our career planning, our fun and recreation planning. And then I have one long-term goal on here. So for my 50th birthday, I can't even believe I'm thinking about my 50th birthday, but I am going to take a trip with my family and some of my friends if they want to come, and like my in-laws, my mom, hopefully my sister and brother-in-law and their daughter. We would take Lucy, Jake and Roya, and like all of our family. And we would rent, and then any friends that wanted to come. So I'm putting it out there now, everybody, when I turn 50. So we have a little bit of time, not that much time though, but like a little bit of time. I want to be on a boat, on a yacht on my 50th birthday in the south of France with a private chef, and I want to cruise around and be in the water, be in the sea, and be on the boat with everybody I love. And that's what I'm going to do for my 50th birthday. So you heard it here first. Actually, I've been saying this to a few people, so some people have heard it before, but you heard it here. That is a plan, and so that will be on my vision board until my 50th birthday, until that trip is booked. That is what I'm working towards in a really meaningful way for my future. So that's the one sort of real future goal, I guess, aside from Lee and I's trip, although that might be coming up sooner than we think, because Lucy is just, thriving with staying with grandparents. So we're loving that. But these are things, so it's pretty focused. I would say for me, the main thing here is continuing to grow the podcast, continuing to think about how I can expand that into the community, continuing to level up in my own physical fitness and then challenge myself and incorporate just a few more times when my husband and I can connect on a more frequent basis in a romantic setting or a calm setting, or go sneak off and see a movie. And then thinking about our sort of real future fun. Um, as I'm looking at this, there definitely is room for me to add some local fun and things that I could probably do that we could do as a family. So maybe I'll have to branch off of this community heart and put something else down here. So maybe I will, as I'm looking at it, add something in there that we could do more immediately than a big trip. Something that our family could do to remind me that, you know, we need to plan our fun a little bit more. So that's my vision board. Now that you have your vision board made and you have it up, now it becomes a question of, how do I use this? So I like to use my vision board in 3 different ways. So the first way is obviously to take this board and put it up above my computer screen where I do my work, so that I can look at it every single time I am building a new episode, building a new season, planning trips, planning my week, planning my workouts. So I can look at that and have a visual reminder of it every single day when I sit down at my computer. The other thing that I would encourage you to do is take a photo of that with your phone. What I have done is I have made that the backdrop of my phone. So I love a good wallpaper. I love a good wallpaper. And I could think of nothing better than making my vision board my wallpaper on my phone. So wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, I'm sitting, I'm waiting for an appointment, I'm doing something, I can check in on it and look at it. The other thing I'm going to do with the picture that I took, aside from putting it on my wallpaper, is I am going to print it out in a 4x6 and put it in a little frame. And I'm going to put it up on my bathroom vanity sink, so that when I'm washing my face in the morning, when I'm washing my face to go to bed, it is there to remind me as I start my day and as I end my day, as a reminder of what I'm working towards and what I'm resting up to be able to do. So those are 3 ways that you can visually put your vision board out for you to see, so that you can place them. If there's something else, some people, you know, you might want to print out the picture and keep it in your wallet, or, you know, or put it in your kitchen or on your fridge or somewhere that you are going to be able to see it at least once a day. So I would say definitely put the big poster board up in your office or where you spend most of your time, which unfortunately for most people is in some kind of office. And then I would put it on your phone and then somewhere else around your house that you are sure to be able just to glance at it. I think these vision boards are a really gentle accountability tool. So it's not like somebody barking at you or, you know, making you feel bad about not doing your goals, but it's something you can see. And hopefully when you look at it, you think, oh, I can't wait to get there. Or, ooh, you know what? I'm going to work a little bit harder in the gym so that I can get up to that 50 pounds or something like that. So hopefully it's something that you've made that really aligns with what you want and speaks to you in a way that when you look at it, you get a little bit fired up or a lot fired up. And then once you have them placed, this is something obviously I would check in, and I would do like a week check-in. So I would look at it and, you know, at the end of every week when you're closing out your week, if you don't have like an end of the week routine, closing up shop on like a Friday, I would definitely build that in and maybe that'll be another VIP tip for another day. But I would check in with it at the end of every week and say, what did I do really well this week? What can I improve on next week? And what did I maybe not make time for that was going to move me further to my goals, closer to my goals? And what adjustments could I make in the week ahead to continue to get back on track? The other thing I would do is look at it on a quarterly basis. A quarterly basis, looking at it every 3 months, is a really good way to be able to have already made some progress on some of those goals. A week is a little hard. It's more of like a check-in on how you're doing. But the quarterly one is really, how have I been doing? Have I made any progress over these past months? And I think that's a really good time to ask yourself, what goal have I been avoiding? Is there an area of your vision board that hasn't gotten touched at all? And why is that? You can also then ask yourself, what part of my vision board needs support? Maybe I need to call in support from my village. Like, what areas need support from me? And then on a daily basis, I think that the best way to use it is when an opportunity or a distraction comes up. So a business opportunity or a social distraction, something that comes up, you can look at that board and then you can decide, if I say yes to this opportunity or I say yes to this distraction, am I moving closer or further away from what I said was really important to me? And it's a really good way to be able to make decisions that are going to be aligned with what you are creating for yourself. The vision board really, I think, helps you establish, is it a yes or a no? And I'll share that in real estate training, they always tell you that a yes makes you money, a no saves you money, and a maybe costs you money. I like to live in either a yes or a no. So yeses are going to be opportunities that are aligned with your goals. They are in time with your goals. They're happening right now. You could get an opportunity and maybe it might work out, but the timing might just be off. And maybe that's something you table because it really does not align with what you have told yourself is important to you and what you've been building. If a friend calls you up and wants you to go day drinking all day, is that something that is going to help you with your fitness goals? I know that certainly would not help me reach my fitness goals. So that would be something I would say no to. So you really want to use it on a daily basis when these opportunities and things come up, and use them as a guide to decide if this is a yes or a no. And I would really work to not live in any kind of maybe situation almost ever. So, these vision boards are not really just about dreaming bigger, but it's really about remembering, like I said, what you stated to yourself mattered most, attaching that intention with a visualization to actually create some new habits and make some change in your life. This week, the VIP tip challenge is for you to create your own vision board, to get clear on what you want, to get clear on your priorities, and to put it all in a visual anchor for you to be able to stay connected to those goals in a meaningful way that will move you forward. I really hope that this has been helpful. Again, the vision boards are not there to pressure you. It's really to remind you, to bring you back when you've fallen off track, to bring you back to what you stated mattered most to you. And it's really that first step in the manifesting journey. So I hope that this was helpful. I am going to put my vision board up by my computer right now. I already have it on the screensaver, and I have a frame up in my bathroom. So I will share a picture of that with you. If you liked this episode and want to catch the other VIP tips that will be coming out soon, please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Village in Progress Pod, that you like and follow us on our socials, and that you follow the shows wherever you stream and get your podcasts. So thank you again so much. From my village to yours, this VIP tip hopefully will get you clear, get you moving in the right direction, and get you closer to the life you're working to build. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.